Hello and welcome. The big news is that Field Marshal General Asim Munir is now in the US having very deep and important meetings. I don't want to speculate as to who he's meeting, where the meetings are taking place, what is being discussed, primarily because I don't have enough information. We tried to look for information, but the official circles, as we call it, are completely mum over this. However, a couple of things need to be noted, and these are very important things. Let me start with the way Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf tried to diminish the importance of this visit and tried to somehow rake General Asim Munir over the coals in Washington. And that effort, unfortunately, was graceless. Not that we expect anything less. When the attempt is not to criticize but to humiliate people, obviously you're not looking for any high standards of conduct. Everybody is going to be, plumbing new laws, and they certainly were plumbing new laws. The kind of pictures that they put up on a silly truck and the kind of slogans that were there and the kind of social media posts that they were making, they were all pretty disgraceful and in bad taste. But that's how the ball is bouncing as far as PTI USA is concerned. They could have gone back, patting themselves on the back if they had secured any measure of success in terms of disrupting this visit or somehow sabotaging it, of the sort that a group of hooligans was able to do. One Chief Justice at that time, Qazi Faizi Saab, visited the UK, and they were all around. Somebody was able to thump on his car as well, and they tried to block his passage and what you may have. Of course, this is a different ballgame altogether. Field Marshal Asim Munir is a VVIP in Washington, and something like this is not going to be allowed. So they were unable to create the kind of mayhem that would be embarrassing for the host as well as for the visitors. So that's point one. The consequence of that, and that's the sub-point of point one, the consequence of that is that PTI was only able to reinforce its image as a party that has absolutely no regard for national interest, no regard for the situation in which a Pakistani representative happens to be in a very important capital of a very important country, and they simply plod on when it comes to their own propaganda. So they plodded on, but frankly didn't reach any destination. But the establishment over here, even if there was like 0.5% chance of them reconsidering their approach towards and view of PTI, that chance now lays buried. The second point relates to the visit of Field Marshal Asim Munir itself. This visit is taking place, needless to say, at a very critical point in the region's history. Israel's planes, Israel's guns, Israel's bombs, American might, its preparations, Trump's threatening tweets, all are converging on the Middle East, actually Gulf, actually very close to Balochistan borders, Pakistan's province, and really right on the borders. So when you have this kind of explosive situation that used to take place and take shape, hundreds of miles away and thousands of miles away in terms of perception index, really be knocking on your geographic borders, you need to take every step with great caution and care. So that's one, that's the regional context. The domestic context is also very important. General Asim Munir has come out of a war against India. He's a battlefield commander. He has won legitimate laurels on account of that. However, all of that could pale into, I would not say insignificance, but I would say it will subside in importance if Pakistan were to give commitments to the US, which seem to run counter to the public mood in the region and at home as well. At home, Israel is a bloodthirsty villain, which Netanyahu seems to be. At home, there's this very deep feeling that Pakistan could be next on the list, and you can't rule it out. At least this is a discussion point on the table. At home, the feeling is that Iran, despite our differences with them, has been deeply wronged Again, there's a consensus on that, and there is general sense of deep frustration and anger at how America allowed its toady state, Israel, to really do this to a Muslim country, and it is endorsed by the G7 countries. And for the German head of the government to say that Israel is doing their dirty job only reinforces this perception that there is a West out there and that West is out there to destroy the Muslim East. Now, when you have that kind of a explosive pressure cooker like public sentiment brewing and boiling, you don't want to really be seen on the right side of a power that is leading this sense of betrayal, this sense of being wronged that prevails, not just in Pakistan but across the border. So you have to be very, very careful as to what you would say and what you would do in those meetings. And last point on that is that while you could keep a lot of information away from Pakistani public, you would choose not to discuss these matters of high priority with anyone except for the core group of decision makers in Pakistan. You can be rest assured that this information will come out. And this information will come out the same way Elon Musk type of information came out. What sort of drugs was he on? Who was he fighting? What was he doing? Trump administration runs a very leaky system, but the leaks are systematic leaks. So you can be rest assured that whatever transpires between the Trump administration and General Asim Munir somehow will find itself in great detail into American newspapers sooner or later. So it's better to take your own public into confidence. It's better to talk about these things back home, lest there should be embarrassing details coming out in American newspapers. Embarrassing and also controversial, not necessarily factually correct. But then you will not have any information baseline to counter that propaganda. So American newspapers will publish whatever transpires between General Asim Munir and the Trump administration officials, and whatever happens in these luncheon meetings and dinners, and they will report on it. The region will also be looking at General Asim Munir's visit very closely. Saudis, Qataris, Omanis, Abu Dhabi, China, Russia, Turkey, all of these Gulf monarchies, states, and heavy-hitting regional powers will be looking at what does Pakistan do in Washington, what is the framework of reference, what is it that Pakistan is committing itself to, if anything at all, and what does Trump administration want out of General Asim Munir's visit. Remember, Trump administration is nothing. Trump himself is nothing if not somebody who wants to strike deals that is to a mutual benefit, and he will not do things, he does not do things for free. So if there is to be some sort of an understanding and engagement, what are the terms and conditions of these engagements? These are the questions that need to be addressed. And if they are not addressed through information outflow from Pakistan, these certainly will be addressed and reported upon in all the American newspapers.